I think with spaces, you can feel like the soul of a structure.
Mhm.
And I think on the hotel side, you have to think about like flow of traffic, use, all these things. When you're building condominiums or your own home, you want to think about like the warmth of a space as well. And especially with super modern design, sometimes like warmth is sacrificed.
Mhm.
And I think there is a way to sort of marry both. And that's where you get into sort of the interior design elements and disciplines and how fabrics can create tremendous warmth in a space which is otherwise sort of colder, raw building materials. And that's a really interesting, like how texture matters, how color matters. And I think oftentimes interior design is not, it doesn't take the same priority. And I think that underestimates the impact it can have on how you experience a room or a space.
Yeah, especially when it's working together with the architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah, fabrics and color. That's so interesting.
Finishes, the choice of wood.
That's making me feel horrible about the space we're sitting in right now. It's like black
This,
curtains, the warmth. I need to work on this.
no
This is a
comment.
big
But you
to-do.
know what I love?
This is a big to-do item. You're making me feel. I'll
I
listen
think
back to
you
this over
may
and over.
there may be a woman's touch needed,
A
but
lot, a
but
lot.
I appreciate the vegetation.
Yeah, it's fake plants,
You know what
fake
I
green
love about this
plants.
space though
Yeah,
is like you come through. Like every single
there's a story
element, there's
behind
a
it.
story behind it. So it's
Yeah,
not just you didn't have some interior designer curate
no.
your bookshelf. There's like
Uh,
nobody came in here with books by the yard. And
this is basically an IKEA. Like this is not
yeah,
this is not deeply thought through, but it does bring me joy.
yeah,
Which is one way to do design. As long as you're happy, that usually means if your taste is decent enough, that means others will be happy or will see the joy radiate through it. But I appreciate you were grasping for compliments and you eventually got
no,
that.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. You have like a little. I love this guy.
You're holding on to a monkey looking at a human skull, which is particularly irrelevant.
And this, I feel like you've really thought about all of these things.
Yeah. There's robot. I don't know if I don't know how much you looked into robots, but there's a way to communicate love and affection from a robot that I'm really fascinated by, and a lot of cartoonists do this too. You have to when you create cartoons and non-human like entities, you have to bring out the joy. So with Wally or robots and Star Wars, to be able to communicate emotion to anger and excitement through a robot is really interesting to me. And people that do it successfully uh, are awesome. are
To make
awesome.
you smile.
Yeah, that makes me smile for
Yeah.
sure. There's a longing there.
How do you do that successfully as you bring your projects to life?
I think there's so many detailed elements that I think artists know well. Uh, but one basic one is something that people know, and you now know because you have a dog. Um, is the excitement that a dog has when you first show up,
Mm.
just the recognizing you and like catching your eye and just showing his excitement by wiggling his butt and tail and all this kind of
Yeah.
this intense joy that overtakes his body. That moment of recognizing something.
Yeah.
It's the double take that that moment of like where this joy of recognition takes over your whole cognition and you're just like there and there's a connection and then the other person gets excited and you both get excited together. It's kind of like that feeling. What would I put it? Like when you go to airports and you get to see people who haven't seen each other for a long time all of a sudden recognize each other in their meeting and they're all like run towards each other and a hug. That moment. By the way, that's awesome to watch. There's so much joy.
And dogs though will have that every time. You could walk into the other room to get a
Yeah,
glass of milk and you come back
Yeah.
and your dog sees you like it's the first time.
Yeah.
So I love replicating that in robots. They actually say children, like one of the reasons why Peekaboo is so successful is that they actually don't remember not having seen you a few
Yeah.
seconds prior. There's a term for it, but I remember as when my kids were younger, you leave the room and you walk back in 30 seconds later, and they experience the same joy as if you had been, gone for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we grow out of that. We become very used to one
Yeah,
another.
I kind of want to forever be excited by the peekaboo phenomena, the simple joys.